I am Sriza Ghosh, a current student of marketing management at SPJIMR Mumbai. I completed my engineering in computer science from SRM Institute in 2020. As a person, I'm a very gregarious person and I love participating in debates, MUNs, and elocution events. I have also published my first novel, Runaway Vagabond, in 2019. So without much ado, I'd like to start discussing about my own CAT preparation strategy. So I'll talk about a very niche strategy that I followed for the last 2 weeks or so. First, I used to take mocks on a very regular basis, and towards the end, I stopped taking mocks and I moved on to previous year papers. I would analyze those previous year papers and see in which part I was lacking. After realizing where I was lacking, I would note down the topic-wise list, and then I would focus on those particular topics from modules or other online sources. One more thing that I was very particular about is no matter how hard the days were, because I had my undergraduation final exams at the very same point of time. So I ensured that even if I devote half an hour, I would devote a very proper half an hour to each topic and each subject. Now I'd like to talk about my particular strategies for each of the 3 sections. First, VARC. I believe that for VARC, one needs to be adept in reading articles from diverse set of topics. Some of us might enjoy reading articles based on philosophy or articles based on, let's say, biology, but there are some topics that we are not comfortable in. So to establish a comfort level, I browsed various topics in the internet, and a very unique website that I found was Aeon Essays, which has really good essays on a diverse range of topics. Second, I used to take sectionals every day. Sometimes it used to be 4 RC passages or a set of 10 VA questions, alternate days. Next, LRDI. One must solve at least 1 set each of LR and 1 set each of DI per day, and 2 sectionals each of LR and 2 sectionals each of DI. For QM, I believe QM is very different from the other 2 topics for me at least. So towards the beginning, I listed down all the topics that I would be focusing on, let us say arithmetic, geometry, trigonometry, and then each day I would focus on 1 topic. I would strengthen the topic completely and ensure that I do not need to return to this topic, and no matter what kind of a question comes, I should be able to battle it. Having said this, there are some questions which are exceptionally difficult for a particular person, and thereby one must strengthen easy and moderate questions at least. Moving on. So one thing that one must always remember is take a mock exam as though it is your real CAT exam. Do not think that it is a mock and you're trying out something, especially in the last 2 weeks where you'll take a maximum of, let's say, 5 mocks or 5 previous year papers. Now, this is one thing that I followed, and I would suggest that you try it in 1 paper if you feel so. What I do is, between any 2 sections, that is between VARC and LRDI, I used to take a 1-minute breather. Now, how this helped me was, VARC requires a very different form of thinking, whereas LRDI requires another different form of thinking, another different thought process. So this would help me shift my thought process from one type to the next. Another thing is that I never set a benchmark score for myself, because some years the paper is exceptionally difficult, some years some parts are easier, and therefore never set a benchmark score for yourself, as this often backfires. If the paper is difficult, and you set a higher benchmark score, then you'd be demotivated throughout the entire duration of the paper, and vice versa for an easier paper. One more thing is that one should always work on minimizing the negative marks. Now I'll talk about each of the particular sections. For VARC, the order that I followed was RC, VA, and again back to RC. So right for the first, let's say 2 minutes, I would skim through each of the RC passages. Now, 2 minutes seems like a very short span of time to skim through a passage. So I would look at the first paragraph, the last paragraph, and look at the questions broadly for each of them. And I would strategize, okay, this looks easy, I'll attempt it first. This looks slightly difficult, I'll attempt it second. This looks slightly more difficult, attempt it third, and thereby I would write down all the passage numbers. and I would move in order of that. Now, let us say I get stuck in one of the passages and I realize that I initially thought that this passage would be comparatively easy, but it isn't as easy as I thought. So I would mark the passage so that I'd come back to it later. After that, I'd go to the VA questions and then again come back to the RC passages that I'd marked for later. For LRDI, again, I followed a very similar approach, 2.5 minutes to skim through all the LRDI questions and note down the questions that I was comfortable with. One mistake that many aspirants make is that they make multiple assumptions, especially while solving LR sets. So remember that you need to be free of assumptions. Another thing that a lot of us do is we write illegibly so that we are able to understand, but nobody else is able to understand. Now what happens is that if you cram down all your answers in a very small space, you won't be able to make out those answers and you would inadvertently end up making silly mistakes. Take this as a cheat code. I understand it would take slightly more amount of time if you want to write clear and legible solutions, but I hope you're able to do this. Now, third is a quant strategy. It is especially useful if you are struggling with QM. So what I would do is I used a bucketing strategy. So I decided in the first iteration, I will solve only 10 questions. So I would pick up the 10 of the easiest questions possible in the first iteration, and I would tick off those questions that yes, I have solved 10 questions. 10 questions is a decent benchmark to set, I believe, for the first iteration. And then again, I would come back, go for another iteration and do another 4 questions. And this is how I used to increase my total number of attempts, keeping my accuracy in mind. Because I would do the question that is very comfortable with and very confident of in the first iteration. Now moving on to the interviews. So interviews are very different to what the actual CAT is. We often think that completing the CAT is a battle won, but it's just half the battle won. Interviews essentially focus on 3 or 4 parameters. And for me, since I was a fresher, I focused on my personality, current affairs, and academics. For personality, the best thing to do is think about yourself and write some of those set questions. For example, introduce yourself, what's your 5-year plan, and other such questions together. And then think of leading questions from there. For example, since I'm currently living in Delhi, so I collected all data possible about Delhi and I analyzed those data. Current affairs is something that everyone needs to be well versed with. Again, interviewers never look for facts during a current affairs question. They look for your opinion. So ensure that you have an opinion. It could be wrong, it could be right. Have an opinion about everything that's going around you. And remember to present it in a very structured format rather than going for an unstructured thought process. The format that I followed was fact, state the basic premise, then move on to your personal opinion and then describe why do you have that opinion. Academics, go for your favorite subjects in academics. Choose the subject you're most comfortable with and ensure that you know the subject in and out. Post this, you can move on to other subjects, and remember you need to relate those subjects with practical applications because I was asked a lot of practical based questions during my interviews. In fact, in all of the interviews I was asked about how I would be using certain domain specific questions in the managerial cadre. Can we have the next slide? So the SPJIMR selection process is very different from the other selection processes. Usually colleges entertain only score-based calls. SPJIMR has 2 sorts of calls, score-based and profile-based. For score-based call, a decent CAT score is essential. For a profile-based call, you need to have a very well-rounded profile. However, what constitutes a well-rounded profile is something that has a lot of things to it. It has a lot of nitty-gritties in the profile. Again, in the WAC part, we have 2 parts, essay writing and psychometric tests. The psychometric test takes into consideration the kind of person that you are. There are two interviews that usually take place, GI1 and the GI2. You need to qualify the GI1 to move to the GI2. So, Galaxy M31, I'd request you to mute yourself if possible.
Friends, please mute yourself, all of you. And Ashok, I'm requesting you, please mute all participants except the speaker. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So GI1 usually constitutes of a diverse range of questions, and GI2 tests you on a very different parameter. And now I'd like to move on to why I went for SPJM out of all the admits that I got, since I converted almost all of my calls. Yet there's something very unique about SPJMR that I gravitated towards it instantly. So SPJMR clubs Eastern ethos and Western efficiency together. It's a very unique place to be in, and it has a very diverse set of students, diverse set of faculty members, and the emphasis on learning is greater than the emphasis on studying. Could you please move to the next slide?
Next slide, please, Ashok. Yeah.
So there are various unique things about SPJMR. First being Abhyudaya. In Abhyudaya, we talk to students belonging to slums and we coach them. It is something that helps us understand how the non-privileged people are living. We all are privileged and we all are born in good families by the lottery of birth, but there are some students who are not, and we coach them and we teach them how to improve their personality and help in their holistic development. PG Lab is something that we do right at the start of the entire course. We go on a trip to Lonavala and we discover ship unlike any other college. We also have international immersion programs such as GFT, which is wherein we go to leading international colleges for the very same. And we also have exchange programs with other colleges. SPJMR is a very good industry connect, and all the time there are multiple live projects coming in where we can learn how to understand things and how the corporate world works. And design thinking is something that bridges the gap between college education and your industry specific education. So this is a very niche course and something that all students of SPJMR love. Having said this, I would like to give some pointers for the last 2 weeks. First being, attempt all previous year papers, as many as you can, and ensure that you analyze those papers. The second thing is chill on the last day, because I clearly remember on the day preceding CAT, I switched off my mobile phone, I chilled with my parents, I talked to my parents all day long, listened to my favorite songs, and just unwind. One more thing is that you need to revise certain things, not decide what you want to revise. I cannot give you pointers regarding what you should be revising, but go for things that you feel that if I revise for like 15 minutes, I'm sure I will be able to get another question that belongs to this cadre. Last but not the least, orient your biological clock according to your CAT schedule. If you have a first slot, orient your biological clock accordingly. If you have a last schedule, orient your biological clock accordingly, and take mocks or previous year papers at the very same time. I had the second slot, so I would ensure that all my mocks are taken during that period so that I remain highly functional at that period. Having said this, all the best to everyone. I hope you do really well. And I hope this session was beneficial for you. Thank you.